Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. One only has to look at Rishi Sunak and realise his goose is well and truly cooked. In terms of election, he's likely to be one and done. That's, of course, assuming he even gets to the next election. The conference season is coming up soon, and people in the party are looking at the polls, looking at Rishi Sunak, and thinking, the whispers are becoming murmurs, and the murmurs are becoming yells of opprobrium. Certainly the membership don't want him. He didn't get voted in. He was foisted upon them. They, when they had the vote, rejected him. But by the connivance of the parliamentary party, they got him in regardless. That will stick in the craw of a lot of members. And of course, up and down the country, people who voted Tory at the last election didn't vote Tory at the last election. They voted Boris Johnson at the last election. Things are not going well. And indeed, I think it needs for him to go now to get a new incumbent in place to have a run-up to the next election. That new incumbent, whoever it shall be, cannot possibly win the election, but they could at least reduce the defeat and turn it from a drubbing to just a loss. We'll have a look at this to see where they are in the polls and see what's going wrong for this absolute failure, this very, very unpopular man, this non-tax-paying billionaire with his green card ready so he can sod off to America the day he is ousted. Here goes. Now, it is quite telling when people view the Labour Party as being the party with low taxation over the Tories for the same thing. This Tory party is not, of course, a Conservative government. It is a blue socialist government. They're imposing reductions in rights and in freedoms. They're increasing taxes. It's not the sort of things that standard sort of normal Tories would believe was possible from their party. But of course, this isn't the Tory party anymore. It's been subsumed. It's gone incredibly left wing, and nobody dares stand up and become right wing again because of the perception of being right wing is seen as toxic, and yet just being slightly right of centre is what is needed in terms of finances and economy. But that's not where this Tory government is, and so of course they're going to suffer, and rightly so. But especially, of course, because you've got Rishi Sunak at the helm, a man who is totally incapable of leading, a very charmless man, a man who cannot relate to day-to-day people. Why should he? He's a billionaire. The man has never had to struggle to pay a heating bill, or put food on his table. And of course, he doesn't pay tax, what with his wife being a non-dom for tax reasons. So, of course, he's got no concept of the roots of the society in which he is attempting to lead. So it's not surprising, of course, that he's proving very, very unpopular up and down the country, and of course, as I said, within the party itself. Anyway, Rishi Sunak is facing the ultimate car crash election as new polls put Tories at historic lows, and all these backbenchers will be looking at him and knowing it is entirely him. As Rishi Sunak tries to reboot his government with a mini reshuffle, a new poll reveals that he's losing ground to Labour. Now, these mini reshuffles, it's like saying, we're doing really badly, let me just shuffle the cards. Yes, but when those cards are just filled with turds, it doesn't matter what turd you put into office, it's still a turd. And you can't polish it. All you can do is roll it in glitter. And they're not even glittery turds anymore, are they? They're so tainted. There's so few of them anymore that have got any kind of idea of what is going on. It's a government that's been in power, I think, too long. It's a government that could do with a stretch in opposition to go back and find its roots. And to sort of start adopting Tory policy if it wants to attract Tory voters. And that is, of course, the problem. It's gone so far left that Tory voters are looking to Labour because Labour aren't as far to the left as the bloody Tories. It's an amazing thing. Anyway, a leading pollster has warned that Rishi Sunak needs a complete change of direction after the latest survey revealed the Prime Minister is heading to a car crash election. On the day that Mr Sunak hoped a mini reshuffle of his top team might help to reset his government, the weekly Techni UK tracker poll has revealed that Labour's lead over the Tories has increased over the summer. According to the poll of 1,633 UK voters, Labour is 21% ahead of the Conservatives by 45% to 24%. That would not just represent a majority, it would represent an absolute catastrophe for the Tory for the Tory party. After a summer where Mr. Sunak tried and failed to snatch back the agenda with a week of measures on tackling illegal immigrants, which hasn't worked and he's done nothing, including the giant barge, also a failure, and getting tough on crime, also a failure, the party has lost 2 points. Labour is also down 1 point, but with the Lib Dems up 1 on 11. Reform UK are up 2 on 8%, and the Greens are still on 6 points. Reform seem to be making ground, but they won't get anything. They're still too small. But they seem to be the go-to party for disaffected Tories who can't stomach voting Labour. So there's a chance maybe they may get 1 or 2 seats up and down the country, particularly in areas that are, what we call close blue. That is to say, blue areas with a small majority. They may just do well there. Anyway, more troubling for Mr. Sunak is that 1 in 10 Tory voters from the 2019 election have said they'll not vote in the next election at all. And less than half, 47%, said they'll vote Conservative again. And this is the trouble. They didn't vote Conservative then. They voted Boris. And they lent Boris a vote. And they expected Boris to deliver. And the Tory party, of course, basically man overboarded him because they didn't want Boris in charge. Pollster Michael Marizzo, Chief Executive of Tech the UK, said, if this was not bad enough for the Conservatives, our poll shows 1 in 10 2019 Tory voters now won't even bother to vote, and 1 in 5 such voters are uncertain to vote. And most damning of all, less than half of those who voted Tory before would vote for Tory again. They're going to lose well over half their vote. They are going to be in a massive hole in the ground. It is absolutely awful for them. But they're reaping what they sowed. In a stark warning to the Prime Minister, she went on, I remain convinced that only a complete change of direction for Sunak's party can save them from defeat by a Labour government at the next general election to be competitive again. And that change of direction must start from the top. They must oust Mowgli. Mowgli must go. He is holding them back. She said, in particular, economy is the first issue. The crisis the population is experiencing and the difficult autumn that lies ahead. It is fundamental not to lose sight of this as the key issue that will shape the outcome of the next general election. And according to the prediction the prediction website, Electoral Calculus, if the poll was the result in an election, the Tories would be down to a historic low of just 106 seats, and Labour holding a 276 majority. Tories would lose 259 seats. That's 259 backbenchers and possibly ministers being ousted on an election night because of Mowgli and his socialist policies that he's pushed through for the last few years as both Chancellor and now Prime Minister. They get it. They understand. The backbenchers understand. It's up to them. But either way, the Conservatives are finished for this government. They're done. They've got maybe just over a year to go, and then they're out. And it's as simple as that. It's not a case of a Labour. Will there be a Labour government? It's how big the Labour majority is going to be. Now I shall stop there, round off, and come up. Well, you can't keep doing things to people like this. You can't keep pushing taxes up, making life harder, adding new costs, deliberately coming up with policies that make life more miserable, that remove rights, remove freedoms, and worst of all, doing it with the air that you're trying to help people. And people are pushing back because people have had enough. They're doing it in London. The Blade Runners have said we've had enough of this shit. They are taking direct action. And we need to start taking direct action in a lot more areas. Remember poll tax. We won. We won because we are many, they are few. And we need to pick our fights carefully, but we need to start picking our fights well and sticking to it and changing policy and telling them if they don't do this, we will be on the streets. We should take a note out of the French book and go on the streets, but let's not riot in our backyards. Let's go to their backyards and riot in their streets, not ours. We keep our streets nice. We riot in their streets, and you guarantee shit'll happen. Thank you very much for listening. If you like the truth and you like this video, please do think about hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell, and definitely leave a like. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, Sunak is a non-tax-paying billionaire. So why is he Prime Minister? Bye.